few years ago, in the span of a little over 2 months, he managed to raise $1 million for tsunami relief. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to the UN Youth Ambassador, the UNICEF Youth Ambassador for Canada, Bilaal Rajan. Give it up for Bilaal.
Oh, come on, we can do better than that. How are we doing today? It's an honor to speak to each and every one of you today, and just talk to you about the challenges that the world faces today. But before I start, I always ask this one question, but I think there's too many people here to answer. But the question was, what does it take to make change in the world today? And I always get answers like bravery, like courage, like passion. And I'm sure we all agree, but we always miss one thing. And that one thing is action. We make change by taking action now. Not next year, not next month, not next week, not even tomorrow. We make change now. So I want to hear you say it. When do we make change? There are thousands of people in this room. We can do better than that. When do we make change? Absolutely. I truly am a very fortunate person. I have loving parents and grandparents to support me. I live in a free and democratic country, and in one of the most culturally diverse cities in Canada, Toronto. But I realized from an early age that other children around the world didn't have what I had here. And I realized that so much change had been made in the past little while. I don't know if anyone's heard this name, but Barack Obama? Yeah? Barack Obama is a great, person who can show us that change is possible. 50 years ago, another well-known name, Martin Luther King Jr., made a speech called I Have a Dream. And today, look where we are. In less than 50 years, when people back then would have never thought that in less than half a century there would be a black president in the United States of America, look at where we stand today. Look at the change that's been made. But, yeah, exactly, absolutely. And it just shows how much is possible for each and every one of us. And since the age of 4, when I started selling clementines for an earthquake in India, I ended up raising $350. It was a small start. It was a spark that lit a huge fire. Today I've been able to raise millions of dollars for various causes around the world, including hurricanes in Haiti, the tsunami, HIV and AIDS, and for the past 4 years, I've been able to be UNICEF Canada's, 5 years actually, a UNICEF Canada Child Ambassador. And I'm honored to do these things, and I'm honored to speak to each and every one of you today. But I found there must be an even cooler way of being able to spread this message of making a difference. And that's exactly why I wrote my book. Oh, sorry, this is me with Nelson Mandela this summer. I forgot to mention that. But my book, Making Change, Tips from an Underage Overachiever, is a book that I wrote for each and every one of you. Why? Because we have to be bold. We have to be creative. We can never take no for an answer. And no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter what language you speak or what your age, you can make a difference in the world today. And for the past 8 years, since the age of 4, absolutely, yeah. And since the age of 4, I've been focusing on children's equality and fairness. And there are many reasons why. For example, did you know that 840 million people in the world today are affected by hunger and malnourishment? 840 million, that's 14% or so of the world's population. Every year it is estimated that 9 million people die from that same cause. More than half the world's population, around 3 billion people, live on less than $2 a day. Less than $2. And that's the exact reason, and if you look at this picture actually, this is a 2-year-old baby. And when I took this picture, it was a few years ago. I have no idea whether or not that baby is alive today. It's just astounding, the things that affect the world today. But that's exactly why I took part, or I started something called the Barefoot Challenge. And the Barefoot Challenge is, this past year in April, I went barefoot for a whole week, without shoes, without socks, without sandals, just to show the simple things that we have here. The shoes that we all wear right now are things that we don't even think about when we put on every day. Just like we don't think about when we drink from the water fountain, or we have clean food in our table, or just normal food in our table. We don't think about how many children around the world would die or dream, not even dream of having these things. And I just want to share with you a small story. When I was in Malawi, I was visiting a school, and it was about recess time, and they were playing on the hot soil, and they brought out this little ball. Excuse me, I'm fighting a cold. But they brought out this little ball, and they started playing around with it, and they asked me to play, and so I did. And the few times I got to kick the ball was soft, it was squishy. And so I asked them at the end of recess, if you want to call it that, what was the ball made of? And they said it was a pig's heart. A pig's heart wrapped in newspaper, plastic bags, and rope, because they couldn't afford a normal one. And the simple things we have here, a soccer ball, other kids dream of. They play with a pig's heart. Imagine playing with a pig's heart, kicking one around in your soccer field at your school. Unimaginable. But moving on, we can't always focus on the negative things in life, even though there are so many. But the environment is another thing that affects the world today, climate change. And Canada, us, the youth of today, the leaders of tomorrow, must make a difference. Now, by 2020, different countries are setting goals to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions by, according to the levels that were at in 1990. So all the countries around the world are trying to make a difference. And so different countries have different goals, like Australia is going for 25%, Norway 45%, the European Union 30%. But Canada, I'm sure no one will be able to guess this number. Canada is only going for a 3% decrease. Can we accept this? Tell me, can we accept this? Absolutely not. And that's why we must make that difference. There's so many simple ways. Albert Einstein once said, "The significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them." It means we have to think smart, be creative, and make a difference now. And it's so simple, so simple. Taking shorter showers, unplugging appliances when we're not here, walking more, taking the bike more, taking the bus more, turning off the tap when you're brushing your teeth. These things are so simple for us to make a difference. Tell your friends to do the same. It's so simple to make a difference in the world today. And it's so easy to do so. It's a goal that we must achieve, and the road to any goal is half the battle, it's half the fun too. That's why we must make a difference. It's our enthusiasm, it's our creativity, it's our energy that'll make the world what it's supposed to be. So I ask you today, why not a world without hunger and poverty? I want to hear you say it. Why not? Why not a world where a child can grow up and receive a proper education and grow up in a caring community? Why not? Why not a world where we can all grow up breathing clean air and peacefully coexist with the environment around us? Why not? And it's very simple to do this, and it only takes one thing. So I want you to all stand up. All of us, stand up. And tell me, when do you make change? Thank you so much.
Come on, you can do better. Give it up for Bilaal, 13 years old. Bilaal, can you come up here for 1 minute? Bilaal, you talked about making change and about how we can all get involved. What did it feel like when you were in the middle, when you first had that idea and you just started raising money, like maybe a couple weeks in? What did you think? Did you think it was going to be possible to raise the money?
I've always had a positive attitude, and that's simply because we can never really go forward with negativity because we're never going to get anywhere. And the sentence that entered my mind when I thought I had to make a difference was, why shouldn't other children in other parts of the world not have what we have here and what we take for granted? So.
That's right. So some of you out there, I know some of you guys have ideas and you have dreams and you're listening and you're like, man, I think I can do that. And you know what? Here's the truth. They can do it, can't
Absolutely.
they? Awesome. Thank you, Bilaal. You've encouraged us. You've inspired us. Go out and continue to be the voice for change.
Oh, we can be heroes just for one